A wife is typically the homemaker, but sometimes they become the home wrecker.
You paid a salary?
I am, yes, ma'am.
And what is that salary?
It's $90,000 a year.
These are 9 cases in which cheating women try to manipulate their husbands into divorce, but God served justice. This woman was 6 weeks away from home, cheating on her husband and spending time with her lover, while her husband was taking care of the children. Now, she wants a divorce and to keep the house so she can move in with her new boyfriend. You won't believe what happened next.
Me for school, educational, healthcare will be joint. I will adopt dispute resolution and custodian section 6 and 7 as written. The parenting time schedule, I will adopt with the oral agreement that the parties have made here on the record today. That will include numbers 9 and 10 for summer schedule and holiday schedule. I don't see it directly in here, but I am going to order that Mr. Lowe remain in the marital home at this time. Do not believe it's appropriate for this court to order that Mr. Lowe pay expenses of this home while a new significant other is in the home. I also don't believe, without further investigation, that it's appropriate that the children at this time be expected to reside with a significant other that the court knows nothing about. So Mr. Lowe is to return to the home. Ms. Lowe is to vacate. Mr. Lowe will be responsible for payment of the, and I believe you had that listed in your original motion, all of the expenses related to the home. Yes, which includes the mortgage, utilities, insurance, property taxes, vehicle. All of that will be the responsibility of petitioner. As I understand it, this is a 5-year marriage. I'm not ordering support at this time. I'm not ordering any sort of alimony or marital payments to Ms. Lowe at this time in a temporary order. I will adopt 11, 12, 13, 14 as proposed by petitioner. I'm going over to the temporary family law order that petitioner proposed. So I will adopt in its entirety then the temporary family law order, which does require that the petitioner or allow the petitioner to return to the home and stay in the family home. Respondent must move out of the family home within 30 days of today's date.
Your Honor, will the court address child support today?
I was just going to turn to you and ask the state if, based on my rulings on the temporary orders, if there were any changes to the state's proposals for child support.
There's
Did
not.
you see the look on her face? In another incident, an entitled divorced mother who is getting a $5,600 paycheck as child support is suing and requesting more money from her ex-husband. That's nearly $70,000 a year. But this time around, she faced a judge with common sense.
I'd just like to note, my client submitted this documentation to front of the court for the reimbursement. The fact that we're here arguing over $392 a month is, I'm shocked that we're here arguing over this. Dr. Cole makes probably at least 4 times as much as my client. I'll just go through, for example, a list of expenses for these children that my client has borne the sole responsibility for since the divorce.
How is this relevant?
Or anyways, I anticipate. So I'm not sure I have much else to offer here. I don't understand, maybe Ms. Umulis could explain in greater detail the objection to a grandmother spending time with the grandchildren. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Also, with a 12-year-old child who cares for other children, I still don't understand the reason why childcare is needed in the first place here in this instance, especially with the plaintiff working from home. It just seems like an unreasonable request for more money We have beliefs that this entire litigation is a attempt to increase the child support obligation and just deny Mark any relationship whatsoever with his children. And this is just further evidence of that as well. But like I said, I don't want to go too far into it. We've agreed to adopt the custody evaluation as the parenting time order in this court. So, I would say let's just wait and see what that report says, and then we can address this objection.
Everyone here knew how ridiculous the claim was. But moving on to another case where the ex-wife of the husband thought he was secretly a millionaire. The husband was a trucker and his ex-wife heard that he owned the company he worked for. But that was hardly the truth. This is what she said.
What all businesses that he does own. But I do know for a fact he does own East Texas Truck Center, and he does have a business in Nacogdoches and a business in Baytown.
Okay. Is the East Texas Truck Center, is that his main source of income?
Yes.
Okay. And you stated he's the owner of that business?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you have any idea what kind of income that business generates?
I would guess probably 3 to 5 million. I did submit, and I'm not sure if you received it yesterday. I did get online and look at the appraisal districts for his property values. Did you receive that?
I did receive it.
Okay. So as far as his property values, which like I said, I can't state as to far as his revenue because it is an LLC and the financial information is not available. But I will say, like, as far as property owned in Baytown, per the appraisal district, it's 1.1 million. In Nacogdoches, he owns 5 properties, 3 of which were just acquired in December 15th, 2021.
Ms. Carpenter, stop.
Take a look at what she says about where she got the information from.
After internet.
So, Ms. Carpenter, this information that you're about to give me is something that you're looking up from somewhere else?
The businesses owned is just from his LinkedIn account, president.
You don't know this information personally. This is just information that you're searching on the internet for.
And also my 14-year-old has told me as well.
Okay, so you can't use it.
But then the husband shed some light on the whole situation.
All right, and where do you currently work?
East Texas Truck Center.
And are you the owner of that business?
I'm a minority owner in that business.
Okay. Are you paid a salary?
I am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is that salary?
It's $90,000 a year.
Okay.
Did you notice her reaction?
Okay. Your motion's denied. Mr. Birch, Ms. Carpenter, I've just denied the state's motion to adjust the child support in this case. They have to put on evidence to show me that there's some kind of change in income, and I heard nothing that leads me to believe that there's been a change. So the state not meeting its burden is therefore the motion is denied. If any party is satisfied, no, that's okay. I don't need to hear anything. If
I'm not understanding what's denied, sir. The new order or the old order?
I'm denying the state's. There's no new order, Mr. Birch.
Yes, sir.
You and Ms. Carpenter and the state were not able to come to an agreement, and so
Yes, sir.
a lawsuit was filed before me to see if the child support needs to be adjusted. The laws in this state are very simple. The state or whoever it is that's moving, asking me to adjust the child support, has to prove what your old income was, where it came from, and the circumstances behind it, and then compare it to the new information that you have. And I find that the state has completely and utterly failed to do that.
Good job, Judge. Moving on to the next one. This time around, the judge does seem a little bit biased. Well, it's a case where the ex-husband is paying $950 per month for rent and utilities to his ex-wife and child. But the ex-wife also wants child support as well.
Hey, Cash App.
Cash App, I paid.
And I think we've already gone through this, so I'll just ask you, $1,976. Is that what you're asking for credit
Yes.
for?
Yes.
Now, those Cash App payments were not given to Miss Elvia Gaspar, is that correct?
Because she did, yeah, no, they were not given to her because she did.
Who were they
does
given
not
to?
have an
Hold on, just answer the question. Who were they were given to?
to Miss Elvia and my daughter. They have the card.
No, listen to the question, sir. The Cash App can only be made to a single person. Were the Cash App payments made to Araceli Alvarez?
Yes, because Miss
Okay,
Elvia
hold
Gaspar
on,
does
just
not have
answer
an
yes
ID,
or no.
man.
Hold on, I'm gonna go through them all. You did not make those to Miss Gaspar, correct?
Yes, I did.
So you sent her Cash App.
She cannot. Elvia Gaspar or I wasn't there. I wasn't there. She just gave them
You
the
don't
card.
know. You don't know. Okay.
No, I do know. I do know.
Well, you
She
said
gave
you
it
were
to
not
them. She gave it to them.
Now, the next one you're asking for credit for is in the amount of $4,920. And that is money order receipts.
Money order receipt provided for Ana Maria Alvarez, which is my other daughter.
Your
the
other
older
daughter.
one. Yes.
Right, and you made those money orders out to Ana Maria Alvarez, not to Miss Gaspar, correct?
Yes. Yes, correct.
And
But
then you're
because-
also asking for credit for the rent that you paid for 2 months.
It was
You
more
got it.
months. I just couldn't find the receipts. It's more months. 6 months total. I just couldn't find the receipts.
Okay, and if we add that up, that totals $12,146. That's what you're saying. So essentially you're saying you don't want the court to order any back child support, correct?
No, because I paid all this money to them, to my daughter.
Okay. I'll pass the witness and I'm gonna recall Miss Gaspar.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Gaspar,
Yes,
the cash apps that Mr. Alvarez is requesting credit for that were made to your daughter, Araceli Alvarez. Did you receive that money?
no, I didn't.
You never received, she never gave you any money.
No.
Now, this bank account from Miss Anita Alvarez, that's his mother, that amount was $3,850. Did you have that card or who used that card?
No, they never gave me a card. I haven't even had a contact or any conversation with his mother.
It looks like he is getting robbed in broad daylight.
That's the extent of your obligation, Mr. Alvarez. Certainly, as a parent, if you want to make more payments, that's up to you. And I encourage you to look out for the best interest of your family. But as a minimum, you're obligated to pay the orders and an amount that I have just asserted.
I
You
don't think
understand
that's
that?
right. I understand, but I don't think it's right. All that money went. She used some of that money too to buy her.
There's no proof of it, sir. And it's like,
It's right here. What do you mean it's not? It's all here. I have all the receipts where I send the money.
that's my order,
have
sir. Good
proof.
luck to you. Anything else? Court costs will be assessed.
Now this judge wanted to take the moral high ground. Up next, we have a case where an ex-wife thought she could keep the house and expensive car, and on top of that received child support. She also expected the grandmother to take care of the children every single day. But little did she know that she won't be able to keep up with the cost of everything.
If you look at my financial declaration, that extra $700 is for child support that is coming out of my check now, since petitioner has had the children. And at this point, I thought that things would have been different with all of the extra things going on with the children. I thought that I would be able to refinance the house and do those things under the assumption that what I was, told by the courts, this step needs to happen, this step needs to happen, this step needs to happen for the kids, that I would get the children back and potentially be getting child support payments again. And that's clearly not happening at this stage. So as I showed in my financial declaration, I'm making payments to him in good faith because I'm already in the negative for all of my bills. I'm having to pay all the house payments. I have greatly reduced all of my bills as much as I can. I need a phone bill. That is the smallest phone bill that I could get. I cut all of my cable. I just have basic internet. I don't spend excess money on groceries. I don't spend money on myself. I can't afford to make these full payments at this point to petitioner and also keep a roof over my head or make my car payment so I can go to work. So I'm not quite sure what Ms. Baldwin or the court expects me to do. I can't do all of it. And then to talk to the point of Ms. Baldwin's point that I started making $50 payments to petitioner back in March. That was after months of trying to get this offset for petitioner still not paying his court-ordered obligation on the house, which is his half of the homeowner's insurance and his half of the property taxes. It's been addressed in multiple pleadings, so I didn't touch base on it too much in this.
But the judges would quickly settle this argument.
That she's cut out of spending. And again, we have a court order on what her obligations are, and she's getting the bills and just shrugging her shoulders. It's not appropriate. These children are facing a real consequence, or at this point have faced that consequence, are in the middle of that consequence for her non-payment. Payment should be made. We're asking for the arrears and the fees and sanctions as I've ordered. And then finally for the judgments to be apportioned out of Ms. Gibson's any award that she has, but paid immediately from the sale proceeds of the house, so that hopefully the children can return to daycare shortly.
And now we have a man who currently pays $498 in child support for 2 children. But the current recommendation is to raise it to $925 a month. During the pandemic, he lost his job, but he didn't stop paying. And he even helped his ex-wife pay off her vehicle. Now he is confused as in why he has to pay so much child support.
Currently, I gross $800 a week. After taxes, medical insurance, and current child support, I clear roughly $500 a week. That gives me just enough to pay my half of rent, utilities, other household necessities, plus my car payment and insurance. If my child support almost doubles, it will put a huge financial strain on me. I have no issue at all paying child support. That's what non-custodial parents do. But I have to be able to afford my bills as well. I make less now as opposed to 3 years ago, so I'm simply curious as to why I'm expected to pay so much.
All right, thank you. Ms. Heaven, what income did you use for Mr. Hergenreder?
He provided me the information of $20 an hour. So I used $20 an hour for 40 hours.
The judges then, luckily for the father, proposed for them to find a mutual agreement in order to reduce the child support.
You know, the amount of time, I guess if you've had this job for a while, you've been paying a lesser amount for some period of time when you were making, you know, the higher wage, and we don't go back in time usually and change support. We change it effective the date that the review was initiated or a motion was filed, so. All right, but I'll use that figure with the running mom at her full-time, at her wage, $828 per month, and
that is with 102 overnights. Do you want it
oh, no, we got to use the 53 overnights. Yeah. At this point, if you change the overnights, I'll rerun it based on the overnights. But.
So 912 is the total.
All right, so that's not a whole lot different, but I don't know. I'll go with that amount at this point. But I guess you can save another $80 a month if you can bump those overnights up by agreement, or if you don't agree, if she doesn't agree, you can file a parenting time motion, and you can explain to me why you feel like you should have more time. And you know, I don't tip my hand or make any guarantees, but I'll certainly listen to what you both have to say and make a decision that's in your kid's best interest based on that if you file the motion for parenting time. All right?
Correct. Thank you, Your Honor.
This next case is pretty similar to what we've seen till now. The ex-husbands make $80,000 a year, while the mother works 20 hours a week and $12 per hour, and the mother wants child support. Now, the argument is that the ex-wife is complaining that she works too much and she wants to bond with her children, who are 16 and 17. The custody of the children is evenly split, but they spend more time with the father.
have to do. So.
All right. And sir, where do you work?
I work for Butler Communication as the director of engineering.
How much do you make there?
80,000 yearly. And what the boys told me is not that, I mean, it's just they go to school and then when they get home from school, she leaves. You know, so what's the point of them being home or them alone there when they could be with me is kind of the, you know, and I don't, if she has a day off, they're more than welcome to go there. It's not that it's a fight. It's, to me, it's common sense, I guess. They might as well be with one of us.
So ma'am, where are you going at night?
That's when I work. Most of the businesses we clean, I have to wait until after 5 for everybody to leave to clean them. But there are some, like we have apartments that we can do the stairwells, you know, at like 3:30. So on a couple of my days, I have to leave, or, you know, I can have time to pick up the boys and get them home. And then I would have to go to work. And then other days I don't have to leave. I'll be home with them for an hour before I have to leave. And then I'll be home. Some of them I only work, you know, just a few hours a night. And then I got a couple hours with them at night before they go to bed. But that is the same for, I work every Saturday. I get one Saturday off a month. I clean Chevy. I'm gone for 3 hours. So every day is going to be interrupted because this is what I have to do. This is the only option for work for me right now, you know? I've been there for 4 years, so it was never be
How
a
long
full
have you guys been separated?
since the day before Thanksgiving last year.
Oh, so we're talking like 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been trying though. I mean, it's been an off and on thing.
And here is the judge's answer.
Making them come when dad's out of town. All I ask for is my 50-50. You know what I mean?
They need to be made aware it's a court order. It's a little set of rules that applies just to you guys, and the expectation is that they comply with it.
I believe that the only one that can get that through to him, the severity of it, would be Toby.
Okay.
But you don't want to force them, but you want me to force them for you. That's the problem. Then he's gonna.
You should both just tell them what the expectation is and tell them there could be consequences if they didn't do what, I mean, it wouldn't be any different than if they didn't do their homework or they stayed out too late, stuff like that. I mean, you tell them what to do, and if they do it, great. If they don't, then there could be a consequence.
And Toby,
Take their games away, take their girlfriend away. I don't know, whatever it is.
I'm not trying to force the children to do anything. I am fighting for my time with them. There's a difference.
I wasn't meaning that.
All right, well, at least on a temporary basis, I'm gonna enter an order of parenting time on a 50-50 basis. I'll say as the parties agree. So the expectation is that it equals out, but I'll let the two of you work out the semantics of that. And I'll see you back here on Wednesday for the child support determination.
Okay. What time was Wednesday?
9:30. I guess if you guys both agree to that 3:49, I could get done with that today. But if you don't, then that's the date and time set for a hearing on that.
I'm good with whatever.
I'm too.
All right, I'll go with that 3:49 then. Ma'am, that's incumbent on you getting the kids off of Medicaid though, because that does not include the 55 for the ordinary medical. That would be the amount that would go to the state to recover that.
Okay, as soon as we're off this call, I will call my caseworker.
Okay, sounds good. You guys are all set then. And don't worry about Wednesday then. That would take care of that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you bet.
Now we have the good old, I'm not working, give me more money method. The woman is not working and is looking for double child support.
And ma'am, are you working then at this time or not working?
I am not. I've been looking for a job all summer, and right now I'm looking into gaining a certificate so that I'll have an additional endorsement either for special education, autism spectrum disorder, or speech language and impairment, or I'm also looking into a K-12 education administration program. So because there's no jobs available in my expertise, my certification within 100 miles, and I wasn't able to apply to the ones that are outside the area because I asked and he said we couldn't move over 100 miles. So I may be becoming a student as soon as in a couple of weeks to gain a certification. So that's an additional graduate certificate. So about 21 extra graduate level credits.
And I understand that you're not working, but the court has the obligation to consider whether or not somebody could be working, and you can do what is called imputing income to somebody.
Okay.
If you got a different job, then we would take into consideration what that different job is, if it is a lower paying job. If you're not able to obtain the same type of paying job.
This is the reason to her ridiculous request from the judge.
So the front of the court will send you the appropriate financial paperwork to complete that. Ms. Hebert has lost her job, is not currently working. At this time, though, I would still continue to impute her income at her last income. And obviously, if she does get a different job, then the matter could be brought before the court again. If that job is paying less money than than it was previously calculated at, and the court would consider adjusting the income for her at that time. As to the overnight issues, it does not appear there has been a significant change in the number of overnights the parties are exercising, so I would deny the request to change the overnights. And given Ms. Hebert's testimony that the children are not receiving childcare anymore, that should be eliminated from the next child support recommendation. Ms. Hebert, do you have any questions?
I do not.
All right, thank you. Mr. Driver, do you have any questions, sir?
At last, we have an interesting case where the woman is not doing anything.
Tamar Lee?
Okay, and are you the father of Danae Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you presently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who do you work for?
Valero Port Arthur Refinery.
Okay, and how long have you worked for Valero?
It'll be 11 years this year.
Okay, and are you paid hourly or a salary?
Early.
Okay, how much are you paid per hour?
1 second. On this paper right here, it shows that I'm paid $50.98 an hour.
You said $59.98?
Yes, ma'am. $50.98.
$50.98. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you work 40 hours per week?
No, basically the way my schedule works is I have a 36-hour week and I'll have a 48-hour week.
Okay. What do you typically gross in a month?
Well, probably about 6,000, 7,000 after they take out taxes, child support, union dues, benefits, United Way that I pay into every year.
Okay. How much
So
do you pay?
I'll say I gross about 111,000.
111,000? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 347.59 is what I have.
Okay. What is the amount of union dues you pay?
About $200 a month.
You pay that every month?
Yes, ma'am. It varies. They take a certain percentage out of each check, and it's based off of what that check is.
Okay, and you had health insurance available for Danae,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
employer? Okay, how much
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
How much is that health insurance?
That is split and divided to my whole family.
Okay.
It's about $150 a person, so about $150. Yes, ma'am, and that's covers health, dental, and vision.
Okay.
The woman claimed that her ex-husband didn't argue the amount he makes last time, but that he argues that she sits all day on her tail. Take a look.
I said when the amount he's giving to me, it seemed like he gave his adjusted gross income and not his net income.
I don't have anything else to go by. That's the only income that I have. It's $111,000 a year. That's what I got.
I said, but that's not what his employer sent to the Attorney General.
I don't have any testimony to that. Nobody put on any evidence to help me with that, Ms. Robinson. The only thing I got to go by is what Mr. Lee just told me. See, in a lawsuit, Ms. Robinson, when you're in a court of law, you have to put on evidence to justify your position. And I've heard no evidence other than what Mr. Lee just told me.
Well, when I asked, the Attorney General, anything I need?
But that's what I'm saying, Ms. Robinson. That may be, but I mean, there'd have to be documents that that's what his income is. Okay.
Can I ask the Attorney General what information they have? Because I can't go to his employer and get his information. That was from the Attorney General.
I mean, you can ask, but Ms. Simone can't testify. Do you wish to
So
call
how-
do you wish to call a witness, Ms. Robinson?
So how do I get that information?
I can't help you there. I'm the judge in the case, Ms. Robinson. You might need to talk to an attorney. This is kind of what happens when sometimes, Ms. Robinson, when we leave everything at the hands of the state. The agency doesn't always do what you want them to do.
Like I said, can we replay? Because he did not argue his amount last time. He only argued the fact that I sat on my tail all day and didn't work and he had to pay. Can we replay that chat? He did not argue the amount he made last time we had him.
This
I don't.
This is not the first hearing that I've had on this case. It was just filed in May.
No, it was probably the negotiation conference.
Oh, you can't bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't bring up anything that happened in the negotiation, Ms. Robinson.
And for the verdict.
Court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find based on the testimony of the parties there's been a material substantial change of circumstance. Based on what I see, the child support needs to be increased to $1,115 a month. That will be effective June the 1st of 2023. The parties were in your office in May, so they signed waivers in May. So the effective date will be June 1st of 2023. Mr. Lee will be responsible for the health insurance and the dental insurance on the child. I gave him credit for the $125 for the medical, the $25 for the dental, and $200 for union dues. Court costs by Mr. Lee, but I'll give him till January 31st of 2024 to pay the court costs. Does that take care of all the issues in this case that are before me today, Ms. Simone?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Robinson and Mr. Lee, what's going to happen is they're going to send me an order. As long as it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them.